Well, we are very excited because coming in over the line, we have Geoff and Gavin from Bunbury, WA. And what I've been told is there is an incredible story to do with vision.
Yes.
A story on vision, and then somehow an adventure to the Northern Territory.
What?
And I've seen some photos and they look incredible. Geoff and Gavin, good morning. Geoff, what's the story? What happened?
Good morning. Well, it probably started on Sunday on the way home from church. My wife asked if I'd ever thought about doing a mission trip. And I said, my initial response was no, because I don't want to leave Australia. I'm very comfortable here.
Yes.
And I'm better with my hands than with my words. So I sort of wrote it off for a few days. And then on the Wednesday, I heard the interview on Vision. And they were chasing tradies to go to Arnhem Land in Northern Territory. So I sort of ticked both of those boxes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
God is amazing with his timing, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you mentioned a tradie. What do you do for a trade? What are you so good at with your hands?
I'm a metal fabricator, but I've also renovated a few houses. So that sort of put me in a unique position for helping up in Arnhem Land.
Wow.
Okay.
So you were helping. The story was, the call out was from MAF.
Yes.
And MAF was needing people to come and help because they've got a bit of a housing issue. Is that right, Geoff?
Yeah, that's correct. So their houses are quite old and run down. So we were going up there to just do some renovations and get them up to speed so they can get another pilot in this particular house that we're working on.
Oh, I love that.
Now, Gavin, we've got you there, Gavin Nepshield. You're a teacher. Where do you come into the story?
Yes, it's very interesting as well. Geoff mentioned it at our sort of dad's Bible study group on a Wednesday night, and just sort of threw out the call and said, "Is anybody interested?" And I thought to myself, yeah, that'd be pretty cool to be able to go and help and serve out in Arnhem Land. And so I inquired about the dates and stuff, and it was smack bang in the middle of term 3, and I thought, nah, that's just not going to work for a teacher, you know. So I sort of left it that evening, but it kept on niggling in the back of my mind, and so I kept on praying about it and prayed about it, and I just felt like God was like, just go and ask your principal for time off. What's the worst he can say? He can say no, you know. Yeah. And so I ended up going and asking, and he said yes, and I couldn't believe it. My jaw dropped down. I was like, what? Did I hear that correctly? So God really opened the doors to allow us to join Geoff on this cool experience, helping out in Arnhem Land.
Awesome. Now, when did you guys get back? When did all this happen?
Yeah, it landed on Friday, just gone. So we got home Friday, which was very nice to come home and see our families. Yeah. And we were away for about 2 weeks.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Okay, well, then you have to tell us what happened. What did you get up to? What was it like being up there with the MAF team?
Oh, it was brilliant. It's very different work for myself, but just getting to see the heart of the MAF staff members for the local Yolngu people was amazing. And just to see their selflessness as well, their surrender to be serving up there was amazing. So I'll let Geoff get into a little bit of the work side of things.
Well, Geoff, what was the work side of it all?
The work side was very rundown old transportable house. So we've put a new roof on it to keep the cyclone rains out. Okay. We're also putting new walls on it this week. So we did a lot of prep work for that, as well as some internal walls, just freshen it all up and make it look a lot nicer. And just make it into a nice new home for a nice little pilot to come into.
Oh, wonderful.
I love it. I've got so many questions. Again, and we're saying MAF like everybody knows what we're talking about. Yeah. Mission Aviation Fellowship, an amazing organisation that provides pilots and transport to missionaries all over the world. Incredible stuff. Do a lot of work out of Australia here. Had either of you either done something with MAF before, or had you been to Arnhem Land before? Was it a new experience on both parts?
Absolutely new experience. I'd heard of MAF as a kid and just sort of seen the calendars rolling around the house, but never really had anything to do with it. So I sort of vaguely knew who they were, but didn't actually realise they were in Arnhem Land until this call out. And no, I've never been to Arnhem Land, and it is a unique place in Australia. It's almost a country within a country up there. So it's an amazing place to visit.
So, Gavin, as a school teacher, I know as a school teacher to even have that, occupation, you've got to have a heart for young people and you've got to want to see the best for them. What was that experience being like in Arnhem Land, where maybe it's a little bit different to what you're used to and the kids that you usually teach? How was that?
Yeah, it was very different. We didn't really get into the communities all that much, but I did get to hear the heart of some of the pilots who were doing some of the school runs. So there was the school bus run that MAF do up in Arnhem Land, and it's just amazing to hear these pilots who sort of consider their planes to be their churches, and so they're sort of doing their mission work in the planes while they are flying these students from one community to their schools and another. So it was great to hear that even the pilots have got great hearts for the students up there as well.
Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful.
And look, I did see some photos. It looked like there was some fun to be had as well. What were some of the other fun things that you were able to do with the team? It looked like some great cooking was made.
We were very fortunate. We managed to go out on a bit of a fishing charter as well, to go and catch a couple of fish, which was great. It was quite plentiful up there. We're on the line, getting hooked up quite regularly as well, which was good fun.
Awesome.
Geoff, you've hit a nail on the head of something that I've experienced while I've been, I've just come back for a couple of months away, and one of the things that happened I haven't had a chance to talk about is my middle son, Gavin. He is in between two brothers who are very clever, very well-read, very brainiacs. So, two brothers who, an older brother and a younger brother who both want to become pastors and go in the mission work. My middle son is dyslexic and loves the word. He's currently working as an apprentice for a trade. His father just took him, his grandfather, I should say, I'm his father, his grandfather just took him on a missions trip to build a new house for some Bible translators. My son came back and his head had exploded because he was like, Dad, on the mission field, there were Bible translators doing all that nerdy stuff that I can't do, but there were tradies and metal workers and guys who were digging ditches, and they're just as important in the mission field as these brains that are doing all that. And it totally changed his whole view of what missions was about. Geoff, I know you might not be I'm not putting you in the same position there, but you sort of said, your wife's asking you if you've done a missions trip. No, what would I do? I'm a metal worker over there. Yeah. Has your perspective changed now that you've been out there on the field?
Yeah, I believe so. I think, God uses each and every one of us. Doesn't matter what skill set we have, they can be used for his glory. Whether it's, a teacher doing tip runs or cleaning out insulation or a fabricator making brackets that only I could make up there. Like, God called us for this trip. He's just called us, and his timing has been perfect. Like, just having a sparky and a plumber can't come in, which are very specialised building trades. Yeah. They're coming in at the right time. Whereas they had some general builders come in just before we left to smash up some walls and that sort of thing. So just to have each and every different person there with their unique skill set, just worked into God's timing perfectly. Like you said, there's all sorts of jobs from digging trenches to pulling tin off a roof. Like, you can just do anything, even if it's sweeping a floor. Yeah. It's just really encouraging to see everyone getting in there and putting their hands together for the work of God.
I love that. It sounds like there's some more work to be done.
I was about to say the same thing. Yeah.
Geoff and Gavin, if we have someone listening along and their wife has just said to them, "Have you thought of a missions trip?" and they're like, "Just a second, these guys are talking at just the right time." What would you say to them? Would you encourage them to reach out?
Absolutely. They are. So we were team 1 of 3. So we never expected to see the house finished. We never, thought that would happen anyway. But we did see a lot of progress happening on this. But so team 1 of 3. So they're still chasing a few people for team 3 if anyone's still keen and has a short-term time off. But it's really good. Like, they've got builders, they've got plumbers, they've got electricians, they've got all these guys, and some even have their wives coming. I think there was at least 3 wives up there this week who are not afraid to get their hands dirty and get going around the building site.
Love it.
Love that.
So, it was awesome to see.
Oh, and Gavin, it sounds like you can be a teacher. Like you probably have similar skills to me. I'm actually you probably got better skills than me. I can't build anything, but it sounds like everyone can come and there's something to do. Is that right?
That's exactly right. I think the goal for me was to be the best TA that I could be up there. So trade assistant, which was exactly what I did. And I think, if you feel like there's hurdles that you can't go, don't be afraid to pray about it, because God certainly opened the doors for me to be able to go. So whether it's finances or anything like that, don't be afraid to pray about it. And you never know how God will work if he wants you up there.
I get the feeling that we might see more of Geoff and Gavin on these little short-term mission trips. Is there something like that being talked about in the future?
Possibly.
It's a lot to organise.
I think both of our wives had the harder job, while we got to play on a little boys' trip up there for 2 weeks.
Hey, you just got to take the wives with you, and then it's all good. You're fine.
Kids and everyone else.
That's it.
Yeah, kids and everyone make it a bit trickier.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe next time.
I love it.
Bless.
Hey, guys, you've been such an encouragement, and I love your practical story of, your wife prompting you to all the way to Gavin, to the principal saying yes. It's an amazing story, and letting everybody know that it is, there's work out there to be done. Doesn't matter what your background, there's something for everyone to do. I love it.
Absolutely.
Brilliant.